Good morning. Thanks so much for joining us here. It is once again the Network Breakfast this Tuesday morning. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching to the end. And maybe you subscribe and hit the bell so you'll know when there's a new video. And we have today our assembled people, and we're going to hear from them. We're going to get a 1 minute each, and then I'll dive into to the best smart thermostats for 2021 in case you're interested in putting a thermostat in, whether you have somebody do it or maybe like me, I put it in myself. Okay, so we're going to say good morning. We're going to say good morning to Brian Diamond first. We'll switch it up some. Good morning, Brian. Let's hear it.
He's muted.
Unmute yourself, Brian.
Oops.
Oops.
There we go.
Thanks.
Thank you, Brian.
Good morning, everybody. Brian Diamond from Springboard Capital Group. My group provides business funding and business credit building services to businesses of all shapes and sizes. Loan types that we do include secured, unsecured loans, equipment loans, and real estate investment loans. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you, Brian. And for those of you watching, please look 2 weeks earlier than this, and you'll see Brian's video. Excellent video on the importance of business credit. Thank you, Brian. Thanks for being here. Now we're going to say good morning to Ray Antonelli. Good morning, Ray.
Good morning, everyone. I happen to be a reverse mortgage specialist. A reverse mortgage is a very interesting product because you have to be 62 years of age or older to qualify. And a reverse mortgage is just a mortgage, but it does not have to be paid back until the senior decides to move out of their home and move to sunny Florida to get rid of the snow in the wintertime, or when they pass. But it's just a mortgage. That's the most common myth of reverse mortgages, that the bank wants your home. It's not true. You still have to pay your taxes and insurance on the home because you own it. And a reverse mortgage is just a mortgage that gets paid off at the time of you moving out of the house for whatever reason. And then your heirs get the balance, or if you're moving to Florida, you get the balance. Ray Antonelli, reverse mortgage expert.
Excellent. Thank you, Ray. Thanks for being here. We're going to say good morning to Trina Gigax. Good morning, Trina, the lovely and talented Trina. Go ahead.
Good morning, everybody. It's because I'm the only woman, so I'm lovely and talented.
Absolutely.
Trina Gigax. I'm a freelance copywriter, copy editor. I help people who don't like to work with words, or people who work with words or marketers or writers and they aren't satisfied and they still think it could be better. But I especially like to work with people who don't want to do it at all, because I can help them in the most meaningful way possible. Trina Gigax, Fresh Eyes Reading. Excellent. Thank you, Trina. And thank you for being here. And you are lovely. Good morning, Mike Bentley. Good morning, Mike. There it is.
Good morning. Good morning, all. I'm Mike Bentley from the Brooks and Stafford Company, and I am here to assist you with your medical insurance questions and needs, whether it's for Medicare coverage, whether you're transitioning between jobs, you need something short-term, you need assistance understanding COBRA options for you or state continuation, or you think that you might qualify for marketplace coverage and a government subsidy, please feel free to give me a call. Mike Bentley from the Brooks and Stafford Company.
Excellent. Thank you, Mike. Thanks for being here. Good morning, Scott Morrison.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Scott Morrison. My company is Discovery Photo. I'm a full-time, full-service photographer and have been for 30 years now, doing everything from legal, corporate, industrial, architectural, and personal headshots for either business or for modeling or for the movie industry, which I am very active here in the Cleveland area. Scott Morrison, Discovery Photo, when image counts.
Great. Thank you, Scott. Thanks for being here. We love having him here as a master photographer and how interesting of a career he has. Good morning, Jeff Hexter. Let's hear it.
Hey, all right, you'll hear it. I want to do something different. I want to describe Trina's job in a different way. So rather than talking about myself, I figured out what Trina does. She helps people make their blogs, their bios, and their blurbs better. Bunch of bees. So when you need somebody that can help you with that writing, she's your person.
She's the bomb.
Yeah.
Thank you. I
get
forgot I did that 3D thing earlier in DMI.
So
I'll have to remember that, Jeff. Thank you.
you make blobs, bios, and blurbs better.
Words better. D.
Right. So I don't need to do my commercial. Everybody knows what I do.
Of course. Thank you, Jeff. And thanks for giving your time to Trina. It's just like you. That's the kind of guy you are. And we appreciate it. Thank you, Jeff. Good morning, Chris Walters.
Good morning, Chris Walters with See-Through Windows. I provide vinyl replacement windows and patio doors and glass block. I cover a territory from Port Clinton to the Pennsylvania border, Cleveland to Canton. My phone number is 330-604-0403. And I would also like to praise Mike Bentley and Trina. I've used them both, and also Scott and everybody here, and they do a wonderful job. If you have something that you need, call these people, please. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Chris. We appreciate that. All the kind words. We all do. Absolutely. Round of applause, Trina. Okay, so now I'm going to share the screen and we'll dive in to smart thermostats for 2021, and we'll see just what's up, and we'll talk about the prices and things like that. So here we go. I'm going to share this and we'll share this. Okay, this is, of course, the best smart thermostats for 2021. And off the bat, I would like to thank John R. Delaney from PCMag.com, where this information was compiled, and I have disseminated it. So we're going to move on from here, and we'll talk about the 8 thermostats for 2021. Whether you want to control your home's heating and cooling with your phone or your voice, the best connected thermostats offer flexibility and can help save you money on energy. And during our little 8 device presentation, you'll see a reference to IFTTT, and it stands for if this, then that. It's a private commercial company that runs services that allow a user to program a response to events in the world. IFTTT has partnerships with different service providers that supply event notifications to IFTTT and execute commands that implement the responses. And you'll see that mentioned on each, well, maybe not on each of them, but on most of the units we'll be looking at. It'll mention that does not support or does support IFTTT. So now you have a little background on what that could possibly mean. So the first one we're going to look at is ecobee Smart Thermostat with voice control. It's 248.64. The ecobee Smart Thermostat with voice control is loaded with features, including Alexa support, a touch display, a remote room sensor, and interoperability with lots of other smart home devices. The pros: advanced Alexa functionality, remote room sensor, dual band Wi-Fi, lots of third-party integrations, and it's easy to install. The cons: pricey. When you have all these features, it's no trick if you just charge more for the item. At $248, apparently this is probably at the high end of all of the ones we're going to look at, but it's also 4.5 dots out of 5. So it's going to be a good one, and you can see that it's easy to install and has all the functionality that you'd be after in a smart Wi-Fi thermostat with voice control. The voice control is built into this one. Some of the others you would get an account and have Amazon connected or Google connected if you have a Google Home or Echo from Amazon. We'll go to the next one. This one's Nest. This is one of the ones that people, it's been around a long time, and a lot of people are familiar with Nest thermostats. You'll also see that it is $249. It's up there where the other one was. And we are in the 3rd generation of Nest Learning thermostat. The 3rd generation Nest Learning thermostat has all the smarts of its predecessors and adds some new features, including a larger display, geofencing support, a furnace monitor, and a few more sensors. And you'll see that the pros are there's a sleek design, it's easy to install, loaded with features, interacts with other Nest and third-party devices, and support for Alexa, Google Home, and the one we mentioned before we got started, IFTTT, if this, then that. Now, the cons are it lacks remote room sensors. The sensors could be movement and or temperature. And another con would be that it's pricey. But if you're going to get into the smart thermostat, I think you should be in this price range anyway. Some folks think that you need to be around that $100 or maybe a little more than 100. But if you're going to jump into this, I think the one-time purchase deserves you putting in a little more money to get this sort of thermostat. All right, let's go to the next one. This is number 3. This is also a Nest thermostat. You'll see it's half the price. The relatively affordable entry-level Nest thermostat lets you control your heating and cooling system by phone or voice, set temperature schedules, and offers energy-saving features that can help lower your bill. The pros for this particular low budget would be that it's affordable. It has an attractive design, as you can see in that photo. It works with Amazon Alexa and Google Assistant voice commands. It supports scheduling and routines, lets you monitor your energy use, and suggests ways to cut back. It warns you about potential HVAC issues. The cons are there's no touchscreen. Geofencing can be finicky, which is the geofencing is intertwined into that if this, then that. And it can't automatically set schedules. This is for the moderately priced, $124.97 at Amazon, Nest thermostat. It's more like an entry level, but you could see that it still will turn your air on. It'll turn your heat on by voice through Alexa or Google Assistant, which I meant.
Google Assistant. The closest I could find is 2021 newest Lenovo Smart Tab M8 with Google Assistant.
Yeah,
image 1280 by 800. It's $179.
Alexa, stop. My Alexa wanted to take over the program here. So we'll move on. All right, we'll go to number 4. The Honeywell Home T9 Smart Thermostat with Sensor. You'll see that this is a name that everybody knows. It's been on almost every thermostat of every house built in the 50s and 60s and most of the 70s. That would be Honeywell. And it's a recognizable format. And you'll see that it's $150 on Amazon, $179.99 at Best Buy. So it has that lower price range. The Honeywell Home T9 Smart Thermostat is a dual band Wi-Fi thermostat. Now, if you understand what dual band is, you know the 2.4 gigahertz and the 5 gigahertz disciplines for the routers. And that's what that means. That's what the dual band Wi-Fi means. The dual band Wi-Fi thermostat that uses long range sensors to provide uniform temperatures throughout your home. And the pros for this particular Honeywell Home T9, it's easy to install. That means there's probably just the major wires. If you have fan speed control, if you're going to need that white wire we talked about earlier to provide the 24 volts, some of these will allow for battery if you don't have that white wire. Easy to install, remote room sensor, and it works with the aforementioned as well as Cortana and Google Voice Command. I'm afraid if I said her name again, she'll start talking. And of course, it is dual band Wi-Fi. Okay, the cons are there's no HomeKit support. Apple makes a product called HomeKit, and there's no support for that, but it will do the Echo and Cortana and Google Voice. It also, the cons are it doesn't integrate directly with other Honeywell smart devices, which is a little bit putting off because if even at 150 or 179.99 at Best Buy, you would think it would be easy to integrate into the other Honeywell smart devices, and it does not. And you'll see the last of the cons is it has limited if this, then that functionality. Okay, we have that one. We're going to move on to this guy. Lux Kono Smart Thermostat. Now, I don't know this name, and I don't know the unit itself. The other ones I've seen up close, and this one, it's a mystery to me. And you'll see that it's $73.99 on Amazon and $94.88 at Walmart. Lux Kono Smart Thermostat. And let's read about it. The Lux Kono Smart is a sharp-looking HomeKit-enabled thermostat that you can control with a number of voice assistants or with a thoughtfully designed mobile app, which is quite amazing considering this truly entry-level price, $73.99. The pros of this would be it's stylish. You can see that photo. It looks pretty good. Customizable design. It's easy to install. It supports multiple voice platforms, and it works with Apple HomeKit. There's also a usage reporting, so you could get a report at the end of the week or end of the month, and there is geofencing, which folds into that if this, then that, but not fully, because one of the cons is it does not integrate with other smart home devices, which would, in my mind, would make me want to look elsewhere. But if you want to get into this sort of smart thermostat, this is a way to do it. It's just that it won't be as integratable as some of these others that are more pricey. It also lacks that IFTTT support, and there's no external room sensors. But then again, for $73.99 or $94.88 in Walmart, you probably don't expect too much. Okay. Now we have a Sensi Smart Thermostat, ST55. Not bad at $116.12. The Sensi ST55 is a reasonably priced smart thermostat that's easy to install and works with numerous home automation and voice control platforms. And the pros would be it's affordable. It works with multiple home automation platforms. It's compatible with you know who, as well as Google and Siri voice commands. And it does support geofencing. The cons are its ho-hum design. I'm not sure what they mean by that. It looks as modern as any of the others. I mean, except for the up and down arrows and things. But if you look at the photo, they consider that a ho-hum design. And
This is the one I have. It works great.
Yeah. And I'm sure it looks great too, although they say that it's ho-hum design. Did you put it in, Scott, or did you have it put in? Scott?
Yes, I'm sorry, I was on mute. Yes, it was just 3 wires. Screwed right
Yeah,
in.
that's right. So you must have had the common wire already
Yeah.
in your thermostat. Good
Yeah.
for you. Nice. Good for you. Okay, so and it doesn't support the IFTTT, but apparently it's not a big of a deal as they might want you to think. The company, the private company, IFTTT. But anyway, I'm glad to hear that that you have one of these and you put it in yourself, and it's reasonably priced, and it's voice control, right? So you can ask whoever you have there.
Right. I mean, I don't use those kind of features. It just, works really well.
So do you use it as sort of a setback?
Yeah.
So you have the air come on and the heat come on at certain times?
Yeah. Yeah. We have it programmed for, colder at this time of the day, warmer, when no one's home. And You know, it's all fully programmable, really easy to use. There's a phone app for it, and just do it that way. It was
Yeah, the
easy to set
integrate,
up.
it's an integrated phone app that connects to the unit Wi-Fi, I'm guessing?
Yeah,
Bluetooth
yep.
Wi-Fi?
Yeah, and it was easy to set up, and it's probably just, we set it up and really haven't messed with it that much since
How
it's
long has it been in, Scott?
a little bit more than a year. We got our new air conditioner system in, I think, last March or April.
Mhm. Okay, have you noticed a savings in your gas and electric?
Well, we have a whole new furnace and air conditioner. So yes, we went from one that was 30 years old to one that is brand new and efficient.
Okay, so,
And it was about a 30 to 40% savings.
yeah, well, that would have been the case even if you didn't have this guy.
Right. So I can't
Right,
say whether it's a
tough to
thermostat
figure
or
how much
whatever.
of that, yeah, how much of that is caused by this.
Right.
In my case, when I put mine in 2015, I probably got that very same 20 or 30% savings in that when I'm gone during the day, it could go to any temperature. And then if it's hot out or whatever, I can look at my phone and I could bring the temperature, or I could bring the temperature down inside the house before I get there. But all day it wasn't running. So it really did help a lot, really did. And I'm glad to see you got this one, especially at this kind of price. So you could see for $116.12, you can still have all those features. And it's been doing a good job for Scott, and we're happy about that. Okay. And we have another Sensi Touch Smart Thermostat. This is an ST75. The Sensi Touch ST75 is a smart thermostat you can control with your phone, voice, and a color touchscreen panel. It offers temperature and humidity alerts and usage reports, as well as support for several smart home platforms. And you'll see on Amazon, it's $168.60, still in that affordable range, although this would amount to about $50 more than the one that Scott put in. But the one Scott has does everything he needs it to do. So he saved that $50. And that's nothing to be sneezed at. Okay, so the pros of this one is it's still reasonably priced. It works with you-know-who, as well as Google and Siri voice commands. And it does support Apple HomeKit, and you can get usage reports. The cons are it lacks remote sensors, and it doesn't support if this, then that. And this is $168, still very affordable. Okay, now here's another name that we know from like spark plugs and other electronics. And they also make ranges and things like that. It's Bosch. It's a Bosch Connected Control, a BCC 100 thermostat for $144.49. And it's a pretty slick unit for that kind of dough. It's about the same price at Home Depot as it is on Amazon. And the Bosch Connected Control BCC 100 is a serviceable thermostat that you can control from anywhere. But it's not quite as smart as its competitors. The pros are it's easy to install. There's a large color touchscreen. It works with you-know-who, and there are threshold alerts. The cons are it doesn't integrate with other smart home devices, which is too bad. And it also lacks that IFTTT support and geofencing capabilities. But you could see that it's a pretty slick looking unit, and it's a well-known name, Bosch, and it's probably a quality unit. It just doesn't have all the features that you might want. Probably even the one that the Sensi unit that Scott has probably is more able to be controlled than this one does. But you're buying a name with this one. You're paying some of this price. This $144.49 is for the price, and you'll see the dots or stars. This is 3.5 out of 5. So it's good, but it's not that good. We'll move on. I'm believing it's okay. Now here's the one that I have. I installed it myself. And this was back in 2015, where there weren't a whole slew of them. Nest was around, yes, and there were a couple of others, but it's not like it is now. And this is the smart Wi-Fi thermostat I installed late 2015. So I've had the benefit of summers and winters with this, and it has saved me a lot of money. And you know, in the I have outdoor lighting, and I have a ton of LEDs, and yet my electric bill, not counting the air conditioner, for example, if we went through a month with almost no air conditioning because it rained most of the month, and my electric bill was just coming up on $70, which is not bad for having lights on from 8:30, 9 o'clock to 1 every day. And the house, it looks like Disneyland. So, and I have them in the front and in the back. And so this thing is really saved me money electrically and with gas in the wintertime, because you can allow the house to get down to, when I'm not here, it could go down to 55 or 60. And then I'll have the thermostat kick back on maybe 3 or 4 o'clock. And by the time I get here at 5, we're back to a toasty 71 or 2. So this is the unit I have, and I've loved every minute of it. It works flawlessly, and you can see it's quite programmable. It's customizable, and the far left screen looks just like the app does on my phone. When you go to your phone, you could go into the Carrier Core app, and that's what you see. So you could move the temperature up or down, and you could pick the schedule that you wanted to if it's different than what you have set up. But if you let it on its own devices, it will pick a advantageous program for you that will raise and lower the temperature throughout the day based on the time of day. It will learn. It's an amazing unit. And at the time in 2015, it was probably almost $300 back then. But it has every feature, well, almost every feature of the ones. It doesn't have that IFTTT because I don't think there was such a thing back then. But this does log into Carrier, and it keeps track of everything. And it also, I get texts, and I get emails and texts saying that it's time to change your furnace filter. It's time for a Carrier furnace check. Have somebody out to look at your furnace to get ready for winter, air conditioner, get ready for summer. So I get texts as reminders to do these kinds of things automatically from this unit. And you could see there's quite a bit on the far right-hand side. There's quite a bit, there's schedules, and you're on vacation. You could set vacation time up, and there's settings that you could turn on and off. And you could actually ask Carrier to set up service for you, and they'll send somebody out if you set it up with Carrier. They'll call whoever's the Carrier authorized locally, and they'll contact you with text or emails. And it has been wonderful. And if I had to buy it again, I'm sorry that this is not available anymore. But there's probably going to be something similar, or there's probably better than this. It's just that I don't know the difference. And I hope this one lasts me a long time. Unfortunately, because when the house was built, I did not have the common wire. And your minimum wires for this, as Scott said earlier, your minimum wires is 3. When you have a Mercury thermostat, there's only 2 wires necessary, on, off. When the Mercury hits, it turns it on. So there was no 3rd wire. So I pulled the old thermostat out, and I fished through a common wire and went down to the furnace and taped it all in and all of that with cable ties, and put it into the furnace. And now I don't need a battery in this. And it's been working flawlessly since the end of 2015. So I'm very happy. And I'm also, it says, however, it does almost everything each of the previous 8 examples do. It's just that this is not available anymore. So I'm glad I got it. I could probably get one if you look on eBay, you could get like new old stock or something if you're looking for one of the Carrier cores. In fact, the newer version doesn't say Carrier on it like this one. It actually says core in that little football looking oval. It says core on it rather than, that was the last model of this before they went to the new format. But I'm glad I have it, and you should look into getting one too. I'm sure Scott would give his a thumbs up and probably recommend it for most of us. You probably should look into getting a smart thermostat that you could control with your Wi-Fi from anywhere. It folds right into having all the Amazon equipment, the devices that Amazon provides. It folds into my lighting. It folds into all of my my irrigation of the yard. I can ask you know who to turn the water on any one of a number of zones and tell it the time and all of that. And this is part of that. It folds right into all of that. So I can ask her to turn the air on, turn the heat on or whatever. And it really does makes your house automated. And I think that's necessary, especially for these kind of dollars, even mine being as expensive as it was, because it should be just a one-time thing. So if you could spend 150 or 200, or in my case, when they first, back in 2015, this was a young market, it was probably, I don't know, 295 or something like that. So even the best ones aren't that expensive. So anyway, has this changed anybody's mind to look into this?
Let me say before you end the conversation, because I know you've got to get out of here at 8:30. If anyone wants a bargain basement price on Nest, let me know. I have several of them. And it's a long story how I got several of them, but I've had very poor experience with their customer service. It originally started where I had a faulty chip in the original Nest that I ordered. They had me send it back. They sent me a replacement. Long story short, the replacement did not have a back wall plate with it. And so I called a couple of times for them to send me the wall plate. They sent me the whole units. So I have two brand new Nest that, and I called and they didn't send me anything to return the units. So I have two brand new Nest that are sitting in a box at my home.
Would you happen to know what the model is of the Nest?
They're 2019 was the year. So I don't off the top of my head know the model number.
Okay, so what about
it looked like the first Nest that
yeah,
you showed, the
sure.
$249.
Yeah. So what do you have up now, if not a Nest?
Well, we got the Nest for my North Carolina property. And so I had my furnace and air conditioning replaced up here in Solon a year ago. So I just have a conventional thermostat up here.
You have no desire to put a smart thermostat in up here?
No, my wife doesn't want one up here.
Is that because of the being turned off by your experience with Nest?
Partly, yes. Right. And dealing with customer service, every time I would call and I would say, you sent me a brand new unit. I just need the plate. Every time I would call and talk to the Google folks, I would be talking to people obviously not inside the United States, and the communication was horrible. And the experience, every time I would call, it was about a 30-minute phone call. No, I just need the plastic piece. You sent me the whole unit.
Wow.
So anyway, I've got several $100 worth of Nest products that I'm not using.
Okay, well, we put the word out there, so, and we'll get how much you want for it. We could do that in the chat or separate. How much you'd like to recoup. So both of them have wall plates and Nest? Okay. All right. Because this is something that I might be interested in.
Tom,
Yes, Ray.
quick question for you before you shut it down.
Yeah.
I've heard the term geofencing before, but how does it relate to thermostats?
Well, it has more to do with the sensors, I think, that it controls. The geofencing has to do with and it interfaces into that if this then that, in that it keeps track of what's going on inside your house, movement, things like that. And so that it will notify you less about temperature, more about just protecting the inside of your house and in some cases the outside of your house.
I have another quick question. I was thinking when we're just talking about being able to control the thermostats with your smartphone.
Yeah.
Have we ever done a network breakfast presentation on router security and how it allows for smartphone control of a Wi-Fi thermostat, for example, and still prevents hackers from getting in?
Well, I mean, these smart thermostats are in your router as any device is in as an IP address. So that if you, for example, if you went in and put a persistent IP address, you can't make anything permanent, but you can make it persistent so that you can make your thermostat, for example, 192.168.1.10. And from here till the end of time, your thermostat will be that. And you could go into your router and make that a persistent so that when the power goes out, power comes back on, the router will not give that 192.168.1.10 to anything except your thermostat.
Got it.
So that's where that security comes in. If you set up any sort of firewall in your router, some folks have tried doing that, and it can be, if you don't know what you're doing, it can be quite a precarious arrangement. Setting up security for a router. The thing to do is to be more concerned of each of your devices, because some devices are going to need more leeway in how they connect to the internet. But the persistent thing, and for example, you could shut down all IP addresses except the ones that you provide persistent IP addresses to. That would be one way of really securing.
Understood. Thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you, Ray. And thank all of you so much for being here. I'm going to hit this one more time, I think. And there it is. Look at that. And there's my thermostat. So my thermostat and I, we thank you for participating in the best smart thermostats for 2021. It was a wonderful time, and I loved presenting it. Hopefully this gets you involved and maybe want to think about it, about getting that, because it will save you money. It is convenient. And when you're gone during the day, it can save you quite a lot of money in gas and electric. Gas in the wintertime if you have forced air, and electric in the summer with your air conditioner. It really does make a difference. So let's look into it. That would be the best smart thermostats for 2021. Thanks so much for watching it till the end. This is Tom Basie. I appreciate it. This is the Network Breakfast. It's Tuesday morning, and we'll see you again next week, okay? All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.